Hey, welcome to the Worship Cafe. My name's Olan, and this is a platform where I share my DIY thoughts and tips with budding worship leaders, musicians, and anybody on the creative side of things. Well, it's 21:25, guys, 9:25 p.m. And guess what? You can still hear that voice in the background. We're experiencing a lockdown, and my little boy is not going to sleep. But I'm determined that I'm going to get ahead and podcast despite the noise. So you do what every parent does. You have a pair of selective ears, selective listening. You just filter out the sound in the background and you carry on. I'm going to pretend that anyone on this call is a parent or has been a parent or is still a parent of young children and carry on. So I don't care what the excuse is, because there's so many reasons now why you cannot make your music, why you cannot continue your art, why you cannot pursue your dreams. There's so many reasons. I mean, if we had excuses before, this coronavirus and the lockdown and the social distancing and all of that has happened, it's amplified all the reasons why we shouldn't do what we do. For instance, I love to podcast in a quiet place and I can't find the space to do it because we're all at home. I'm going to carry on doing it regardless, and hopefully that someone gets helped. So what's your excuse? I know producers who have a baby, a few months old, who are still producing, and they post their photos online. They have the baby in one lap, and they're mixing in front of them. Rock the baby to sleep, and mix a few more tracks. Get productive regardless of the obstacle. Get productive regardless of the environment you're in. It's time to stay focused, guys. There's no reason why you cannot do what you are supposed to be doing. For instance, I know some singers, worship leaders who just fizzled out because all of a sudden we don't have the platforms to go to anymore. So what happened to you singing out of your bedroom? What happened to you singing with your guitar? There's a lady I know I follow on Instagram. Her name is Dylan Taylor. She's not even a gospel singer, and she just does her EPs from home. She just gets her guitar out. She's on YouTube and she's streaming live. She's on Instagram. She's streaming live. She's just doing her thing. She's got a couple of thousand followers just playing her thing. And okay, fair enough. Take it for granted. She's gifted. But she's not stopping. And this was even before the lockdown. Like, she was just doing her front room sessions. Nothing scripted. This is my song, guys. How does it sound? Yada, yada, yada. Boom. Next thing you know, a couple hundred likes, a couple thousand likes, feedback here and there, and people improve. She gets it, and the people get it. Our audience get it. I get it. I understand it. Just lose the fear of being, that fear of, how would it sound? That desire to be perfect all the time. Just get over it, and start doing what you're supposed to do. Get over that fear of how will people receive this, and it needs to be pristine and all of that. And I know it's supposed to be pristine. That's the way it should work, but not always. You can aspire to things that are much more you think are outside of your purview. So, to the worship leaders who I just mentioned, who have said, I have no equipment, I have nothing, how can I do stuff? Well, that's the point. We always start with the I have nothing. So today's episode is going to be dedicated to people who want to make music and have zero budget. I want to make music, sir. How can I make music with zero budget? Zero budget, okay, I'm going to assume that you've got a phone, okay? That you at least have a phone, and that's what you're listening to me on, okay? That's one thing I'm going to assume that you have. The second thing I'm going to assume that you have, depending on you be the category 2, is that you have access to a laptop, a deadbeat laptop, something that you power on and it still works, okay? I don't care if it's a Windows, it's a Mac, it's a Linux, whatever it is that it works with. It comes on, okay? You've got a platform, that's it. Okay, now, most phones have a camera. Most phones have a camera with a mic. So that's there, your tools there. The next thing that you need is your creativity. Okay, where am I going with this? All that you need, besides having a phone that can shoot something and capture something that you can share to the internet, is your creativity. You're listening to this podcast on a device. It could be your phone, it could be your laptop, whatever it is. That is enough to get started. Now, it's not going to be pristine, and it doesn't need to be pristine. I say this to myself all the time. I want it to be right. I want the angles to be this. I want the lighting to be this. Just get up and bless you. Shoot this thing. Shoot it. When the song comes out, you may not even like it, but go ahead and shoot your first song. Call it the quarantine song thing. Look online, see what people have done. All right, don't copy, but you just reference and you're baselining. Okay, this is what people have done, and I'm going to do similar. Then, based on their results, you can sort of tailor yours. Oh, this person had a clear background. Is there any area of my room? I'm going to assume that you live somewhere that I can shoot this in, that it will be a less of a problem, if I just gonna shoot on this little background. I know that my room has lots sorts of decorations in there which may not be to everyone's taste, but a plain background or nearly plain background can appeal to many people. They can imagine what should be there in their minds, or at least it's something that makes them focus on me rather than on the room, and that's it. But it starts with your creativity. So the question really is, how creative can you be? The question is not whether you have access to a professional studio or not. That's irrelevant, okay? That's irrelevant. You take an Israel Houghton and you give him a guitar randomly on a different stage, with no microphones, no lights, no props, and say, please sing. He's going to bring it. You will know that Israel Houghton was in the room. And many worship leaders like that, okay? Now, I'm not saying that we're competing. You don't need to compete with anybody. You're just being yourself on your own lane. Start small. All that excuse about, we're on lockdown and this is a valid reason. I get it. I'm podcasting now. You can hear noises in the background, which I do apologize for, but I've carried on because I want you to see that, I don't live like in pristine conditions, pristine conditions where I've got everything under control. Like, I'm human too. I live a normal life. I'm a parent of young children. I podcast when I can, and even though I've not been as consistent as I need to be, but I just realized, you know what? I'm not going to wait to be pristine. I'm just going to carry on. If it helps somebody, great. If it turns you off, I'm sorry. I apologize. Maybe you can go back and watch or listen to the pristine ones, or follow us on Facebook and on Instagram and on YouTube. Because, that's, by the way, the YouTube channel is live now, for the Worship Cafe. And we're posting all our episodes from this platform on there. We're also available on Spotify, which is not something I've been talking about a lot because I found out it was really difficult to find us. I tried to find myself on Spotify, even though I knew I was there. And it was a bit tricky. Anyway, moving on. So that's just one tool, your phone. Take a photo of yourself, find out the angle of the room that works. And by the way, tip number 1, landscape. Landscape. So you have the phone slanted, like, horizontally, and then you film. That way it gives it a more cinematic look. If you have it vertical, it just makes it look like a portrait. It's not really musical because all I can see is your face, and it's just So from experience, slant your phone and do a good presentation. You will find when you watch yourself the first time, you wouldn't like what you get. For most people, I didn't like watching myself on playback. I used to cringe because I'd see all the mistakes I'd make. So why did I do my face like that? Why was I looking at the camera like this? Why was my eyes funny? My eyes and my mouths weren't matching. Like, the emotion on my face wasn't matching the words. So then step number 2, you start to refine. You shoot a few more videos, you start to refine. Those of us who take selfies, as hated as selfies are, they've got a good use. Selfies help you realize what's your best angle. And I'm not saying take 10,000 selfies just to find the one, but some people take 100 selfies and post 100. I'm like, seriously, dude, just choose one. Anyway, I rant. But just find out the angle that suits you most and then sing. And if you can play an instrument, a guitar, a piano, that's it. Position your phone and use it. Job done. Track number 1 is out there, and it's going to bless lives, because that's what it does. That's what your talent does. That's what your gifting does. That's what your ministry does. It blesses lives. So send it out. Don't let a virus or a lockdown be the reason why you cannot reach out. Step number 2, if you have access to a laptop or a computer, there are free software out there you can download. Okay, I'm going to try to leave a description down below this podcast, things that you can find and you can use. This GarageBand out there is relatively free. This Apple Logic is expensive depending on what you're splashing out on. But there's so many other free apps. I use Logic. I used to be a Cubase person since forever. I still have my copy of Cubase 5. That's just like, whoa, that's really old. It still works. Okay, and then obviously I switched to what was that? Ableton for a bit. And then Studio One, and now I'm on Logic, and I just try out stuff and they work. And there's loads of stuff out there you can even use that I cannot even make mention of. This is a on the spot video, but I'm just gonna do it. Alright, so go on Google, yeah. Free, yeah. DAWs, digital audio workstations, free DAW software. You will find a plethora of stuff out there. You can download, legitimately free, and you can use out of the box. Studio One, PreSonus Studio One is free, practically free for the trial version. You can do everything, record a full track, a full album, and release it. The only thing you don't have is access to all of the plugins, but you have access to the basic plugins, and you can export what you do. That's all you need. Get started. Pro Tools First is actually free. You can download it and start using it off the box. You don't even have to pay for it, and it's legitimate. Download it from legitimate places. So that's information you can crack on with today. Okay, but I'm not techie, but well, they accept the challenge. I wasn't techie too. I'm still not techie. I just decided I want to do this. I can't always afford a producer. I'm trying to learn to play the piano, and that was it. A couple years in, and I'm still doing it. It's a journey. People go and watch Netflix for entertainment. I watch YouTube for entertainment, but not for entertainment, for actually infotainment. I sit there and I watch, people's tutorials after tutorials, scheming for the information that I need to get ahead. And sometimes when my colleagues and peers are asking, how did you do that? I'm like, you guys, there's YouTube. And I'm not even the best. I'm like one of the lazy ones. There's people who are my accountability partners who I look up to, and when I ask for this, they already know it. They're on that money, and they send me links, I send them links. So it's like a challenge, a race to the top. Like, guys, we're pulling each other, and they're pulling me more than I'm pulling them, which is good, because you need people in your life that you can be accountable to. You need people in your life that you can aspire to be, because they are where you are trying to get to. All right, and hopefully when you get there, they've advanced more. So you're constantly moving closer and closer towards your goal, closer and closer towards destiny's call. So if you're still on this call wondering, what is this rant about? It's about overcoming inertia. It's about using the free tools that are available. So what do I do with this song that I've just done now? You send it to your friends, your close friends. Let them give you feedback, all right? If you're bold enough, post it. But I would say before you post it, send it to people, give you feedback. All right. I remember the very first track I sent out, just being bold. It's like almost 10 years ago, and I sent that track out to people. It was just rough. I did it in my room, and I just sent it out. And people liked it, but then they had a problem with the arrangement. Someone said, "Oh, why didn't you just start with a verse and then build into the chorus? You started with the chorus and then went into the verse." And it was just like there was no how can I put it? Oh wow, yeah, you can hear him. Okay, yeah, you finished. Cool. I'm on the podcast. I'll speak to you soon. All right. Give me 5 minutes, okay? Yes, I know. 5 minutes. All right. Good night, Bubba. So, get it to your friends and let them give you feedback. Take that feedback, swallow your pride, and implement the feedback. It will make you better. It will first hurt, then it will make you better. Then you'll begin to see beyond, your imperfections and begin to look for the positives in that presentation you just made. And then, hopefully, you'll get better as a performing musician under these new restrictions. That said, don't waste too much time trying to get it right. The goal is to get it out and get moving. Shoot the first one, shoot the second one. Where do you put it now? Put it on your social media pages, put it on your Instagram stories, put it on your Facebook, put it on places where you know that even Instagram is safe because it's a story. If it doesn't resonate, it will go. If it doesn't resonate with people, the next day, 24 hours, it's gone. But if you post it to your feed, then it's going to be there until you take it down. So let that be the judge, all right, of whether it resonates with people or not. I'm going to keep this very simple because it's going to be over now. But if this has been useful for you, I'd like you to reach out to me. You can follow me on Twitter at Olan for Life. You can follow me on Instagram at Olan for Life. You can follow me on Facebook as well, on YouTube as well, youtube.com/Olan for Life too. Okay, so it's important that you reach out. Let me know how this has been of use to you, because I really want to be part of your journey. I want to be able to look back and say, well, at least one person's been helped by this. Yeah. My choir group, we're collaborating now. We're creating songs virtually, and yes, it's been a journey and a half, but we're getting better. That's the good news. We are getting better as a community. It's forced us to look at what we deliver. It's a different whole kettle of fish when you sing in public where you're feeding off each other's energies. But now you're doing this by yourself and you have to really look like you're in the mood because you are in the mood and you're being recorded. Your camera's capturing the moment. So it's brilliant. Try it out. Let me know how it goes. I'm gonna keep this short. I'm gonna rant it. This has been my rant for the week anyway. Stay motivated, guys. Stay creative. It's important to keep on top of your game. Everything's changing. Now everyone in the world is experiencing the same thing at the same time, but people are still moving. It seems like those who are prepared for this season are still cracking. It's not too late to get up and be creative. It's not too late to follow your dreams. God bless you. This has been Olan. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.